Food in nature are not unprotected. They come with built-in defense systems, like, for example, skins, shells, and even membranes. And these structures itself act as barriers that slow down microbial invasion. So, as long as the food remains intact, spoilage is basically delayed. But once they are damaged by cutting, bruising, or peeling, microorganisms can easily enter and begin the spoilage process. So plant-based protection is very important. Like, for example, in plant-based foods such as fruits and vegetables, the outer skin or peel, it acts as protective shield. So some foods like citrus fruits and melons even have thick rinds for extra protection. Inside the cell walls, it contains natural antimicrobial substances like phenolics and organic acids. That is why a whole fruit stays fresh much longer, while a cut fruit spoils much faster. So, apart from the plant-based protection, we also have animal-based protection. So, in case of animal-based fruits, there is similar protective structures, like, for example, eggshells and their inner membranes prevent bacteria from entering. In meat, excuse me, intact muscle tissues keeps microbes mostly on the surface. However, when a meat is again ground or minced, the inner portion becomes exposed, so increasing the risk of spoilage again. Similarly, in case of fish skins and scales also provide temporary protection, but once removed, again the spoilage speeds up. So, in case of grains and seeds, again they are protected by husk, bran layers, and even seed coats. And these layers seal the nutrient-rich interior and often contain natural inhibitors, which slows down microbial growth. So that is the reason why grains can be stored for longer periods, while processed forms like flour spoil more quickly. So now another thing that we should know is what basically happens after the damage. So when these protective barriers are broken, microorganisms basically gain access to the nutrients inside the food. So as I already told you, the nutrients as important for our body, it is also equally important for the microbes to grow, thrive, and survive. So bacteria, once it gets the nutrients or access to the nutrient, bacteria, they start multiplying rapidly, and it causes formation of slime or even bad odor. So molds grow visibly and it may produce some harmful toxins also. And yeast cause fermentations leading to gas and off flavors. At the same time, natural enzymes inside the food accelerate its breakdown. So, and another important matter, I think that we should know is why damage matters. Okay. So the key difference lies in exposure. So intact food limit microbial access. So spoilage is basically slow, as I have been discussing, as I already told you. So once the structure is damaged, microbes can spread quickly and spoilage becomes much faster. So the most important thing that we should know is like to reduce spoiling, we should handle foods carefully to avoid damage, and we should cut or peel the fruits only when necessary or exactly before eating. And after cutting, refrigeration is very much important because as I already discussed that it slows down the microbial growth under refrigerated conditions. And also keeping foods dry is also very much important, okay, as much as far as possible, because moisture supports microbial activity. Okay, so packing methods like vacuum sealing can mimic natural barriers, and it can even extend shelf life. So a simple thing like by which you can remember this topic is no barrier means fast spoilage. That is when you peel or cut food, you expose it, and that's what exactly what microbes needs to grow. So I hope you have noticed that whole foods last longer than cut ones, isn't it? That's because nature gives food its own protection, and structures like skin, cells, and membranes, it acts as barriers, slowing down microbial invasion. But the moment these barriers are damaged, spoilage speeds up. So, similarly, in case of fruits and vegetables, which are plant based fruits, the outer skin or peel works like a shield. Some fruits like citrus fruits and melons, they have a thick covering which provides extra protection. Whereas one thing also is important to know that plant cells contain some natural antimicrobial compounds, which I had discussed in the last class itself, and which help delay spoilage. That's why a whole fruit stays fresh longer, but once it is cut, it starts to spoil quickly. So, in case of animal-based foods, they have protective structures like, for example, eggshells and membranes prevent bacteria from entering. In meat, whereas intact muscles keep microbes mostly on the surface. And when that meat is again cut, that is cut or minced or ground, say you can see, it can spread throughout. So fish skin and scales, they also offer a temporary protection, but again, removing them increases the rate of spoilage. So grains and seeds are also naturally well protected. The seed coat that is there in husk, bran, it acts as strong barriers, which helps to keep the moisture low. So thereby making it harder for microbes to grow. And that's why whole grain last longer, while flour spoil quite quickly. Once the protective layer is broken, this microorganisms gain access to nutrients inside the food. Bacteria multiply rapidly, causing bad odors and slime formation. And there are some microbes called molds which grow visibly, sometimes producing toxins. And yeast leads to fermentation, and natural enzymes speed up breakdown. So the key difference is simple. Intact food slows spoilage, damaged food speeds up. To keep food fresh longer, we should handle properly, and we should be very much cautious. So, and we should avoid cutting or peeling until necessary, refrigerate after cutting, and we should keep food dry wherever possible. Even packaged methods to try to copy this natural barriers. And remember this that no barrier means fast spoilage. When you expose food, you invite microbes in it.